Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started real quickly. Thank you all for joining us this evening. My name is Leah, and I'm going to be your host this evening while we talk about small business advancement in the city of Austin. Um, Next slide, please. To go over today's session, the protocol, each department's going to have a presentation. When we get to the Q&A session, you'll have a chance to participate. You can either raise your hand during the Q&A session and we'll unmute you and you can ask your questions. If you have something that comes up in the meantime while someone's giving a presentation, there is a Q&A box at the bottom of the page. You can press that and you can type your question into that box, and either we will answer it as the presentation goes on, or at the end of the presentations, we will go through those and make sure that all of them are answered. If for some reason we don't have an answer, then we will be gathering all of those together, and each participant will receive a copy of those Q&A, the questions and answers, as well as the recording of the presentation today. Next slide, please. Here's an overview of what you can expect this evening. First, again, just a general overview of why we're meeting. We're going to go over the initiatives that have been brought through the city as either recommendations from the different departments or to other improvements for small businesses throughout the city. We'll have some polls throughout, so we'd love your participation. They should be painless, but we'll go through those and you can answer in real time. We're going to hear from Development Services Department first, and then we'll listen to the EDD group. We're going to go to APA Austin Public Health, and then Austin Water, and then we'll have our Q&A. Next slide, please. So why are we here today? City Council passed a resolution, and this resolution was to look at, for each department to look at different ways that the city can help to eliminate barriers that may cause hindrances for small businesses throughout the city. We know that having a small business is often precarious, and just tasked looking at ways that the city can remove or better the way that we serve our small business community. Next slide, please. Oh yes, we want to make sure it's easier and faster, and if ways to make it more cost effective. The different ways that we're going to talk, or the different improvements that we're going to talk about today, looking at different change of use processes, looking at right size requirements, the way that the development services support small business, and with EDD is for strengthening education resources and financial assistance and expanding the outreach to our small business community. And then with Austin Public Health and Water, ways that they've updated their food service categories and looking at different grease trap programs and looking at assistance for those grease traps within the city. Next slide, please. So our first poll is going to be, if you tell us about your small business. So these are several different options about what your business can be, whether it's in construction or food and beverage, architecture, different ways that your business helps interact with our city. So if you can just take a moment and answer that, that helps us see who's here today and make sure that we're reaching the different sectors throughout the city. We know that the city of Austin, one of the wonderful things about it is that we do have a very broad services offered to our community, and we're very, very grateful for that and love to hear what's going on. So we're going to give that just a minute. All right. So as you can see, with the people that are here today, we've got people in architecture design, we've got some beauty and wellness people, got food and beverage, and then others that may not be listed. Great, thank you. Next slide, please. Coming up is Jennifer Turnbow. She is our senior business process consultant here at the City of Austin within Development Services, and she's going to talk about the improvements for the department. So welcome, Jennifer, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah. I appreciate it and your thorough overview of today's activities. Again, my name is Jennifer Turnbow. I'm a senior business process consultant here at DSD. Also on the line is some of our development process team members whose operations are a focus with this effort. Natalia Rodriguez, who is the acting development services manager of the DPT team, and also Alejandra Munez. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I meant to practice. Development services process coordinator. Before we get started, I just wanted to say I had the pleasure of shepherding this improvement effort, and would like to thank all of the DSD and partner departments who collaborated with us, and also, of course, the DSD community engagement team who produced this event. And of course, for all the attendees, today's attendees, who we greatly appreciate you attending and also providing your feedback. Next slide. We're going to start off with some definitions. First, we're going to clarify a definition for the first improvement. We're going to talk about the change of use. Change of use which is something actually you might have heard of before if you've gone through the site plan exemption process, but let's talk about it just a little bit. Change of use is a process that's required when a business would like to operate in a commercial space previously approved for a different type of business or use. Before opening, the new business must get approval from the city to ensure that the commercial space is safe and appropriate for the new business's operations. For instance, if someone is converting a retail clothing store into a restaurant, that requires a change of use. Restaurants have different needs than a retail space, such as kitchen ventilation and fire safety. Next slide. So let's dig deeper or go into the next first DSD improvement for small business advancement, accelerating change of use process. Currently, a change of use request requires up to 11 different reviews, including arborist, drainage, electric, engineering, environmental, fire, industrial, waste, plumbing, site plan, water, and zoning. And it usually takes about 2 months to go through this process with all 11 reviews, and it costs about $609 in fees. So to improve the advancement for small businesses, DSD plans to reduce the number of reviews from 11 to 3, which will just include zoning, fire, industrial waste, and hold on one second. And DSD found that these same reviews happened in the next portion of the process when you go through the process we're talking about. Commercial building plan review does the same reviews. So we wanted to cut down to only the reviews that we needed for change of use. And this, shortens the time span, and also, yes, it shortens the time span. And the fee we're working on is being calculated right now with our current cost of service analysis, and we should have this launched October 1. Next slide. Okay. So another improvement for small business advancement is adopting right-sized requirements. And let me see, I'm sorry, I got a little lost. The Development Services Department offers right-sized building plan review requirements, which are scaled to match small business needs. These building plan review options are the quick turnaround permit review, which is ideal for small projects like finish outs, interior remodels, and minor structures. The review time is usually just 1 day because it's only one group that reviews, and the cost is approximately $676. The next review process that's scaled to small business is the 7-day permit review, which is ideal for small commercial remodeling under 5,000 square feet. The review time is about 7 business days, and the cost is approximately $2,301. Next slide. Now for our next small business improvement, We are getting into, this is going to be for the next 3 slides, improving support services. And we have an array of things we're going to talk about. Small businesses have access to no-cost consultant services from our development process team, the team that I introduced earlier, that provides a direct pathway to technical experts and resources, assistance in navigating the city's development process, one-on-one support, and acting as a single point of contact. And now, in looking at the current awareness levels of these services, we discovered we have more work to do in increasing the awareness and the interactions with this team's services. So DSD is working on amplifying marketing efforts to increase awareness of the team's services. And part of that is a current promotional campaign focusing on both online and social media advertising, which has already delivered increased visits to the development process team page. And in the near future, we will be doing a flyer campaign at targeted locations, including libraries, coffee shops, and co-working spaces, as well as a print ad campaign in local publications. And then another thing we're working on is strengthening our referral system to help applicants better connect with the right city resources. And we're working to build a very strong or a much stronger referral system with DSD's intake and land development information service groups, which are often the first stops that applicants make whenever they want to, engage with us. And it will help applicants better connect with the right city resources throughout the development process experience. Next slide. And the next improvement we've made already, which is launched in the spring, is a small business permitting webpage. The page provides information on permitting, types of permits, and other resources related to the development process. And it also offers small businesses the opportunity to schedule meetings with the development process team on the webpage. And the webpage's content is continuing to be built to make sure that it has the right information for small businesses on it. Next slide. And to wrap up my portion of the presentation, we are going to talk about the other improvement, the technical assistance improvement. DSD offers a variety of consultation services to guide small businesses through the development process, from pre to post submittal stages, to ensure they meet all the requirements. These consultation services range from free to pay depending on the level of detail and complexity of the project. And our partner departments also offer similar services. That is the end of my portion of the presentation. Please feel free to add any questions to the chat and we can address them later in the presentation. And now I hand it over to Leah.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here's our next poll. So you've got a couple questions here. Looking at what information we shared today, just let us know how helpful you think these improvements will be for small business, and what made your choice? The question is what led you to make that choice? And also, how likely are you to seek support services from the development process team? So here's just some of the feedback we just received. Again, don't be shy. Our feelings will not be hurt. The more honest you are with us, then the better we can tailor different things to make sure that we're making your lives easier. That's the goal of all of this. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your participation. So coming up next, we're going to talk to the Economic Development Department and listen to see what's going on with their improvements. Cheyenne Alvarez, the program manager for the department, is going to give us some information. So Cheyenne, we welcome you.
Thank you, Leah. I appreciate the introduction. Thanks for joining, everyone. My name is Cheyenne Alvarez. As Leah mentioned, I am a program manager within the Small Business Division, which is one division within the Economic Development Department. And I am joined this evening by Javier Zarate, who is the Small Business Division Manager, and he's going to be available to help answer questions. So let's get started on the next slide. So we have multiple educational resources offered through our division. We support both startups and established businesses through affordable business classes that cover a multitude of startup and operational day-to-day topics. We provide free one-on-one coaching services through contracted providers. We offer networking events throughout the year via classes, workshops, and a special women's event offered in the fall, and additionally resources for growth and funding. Next slide, please. So we also offer a free BizAid business orientation, and this is a class that you can take in person or online. This class is just full of resources for entrepreneurs here in Austin, and it's a class that I actually take every now and again just because it's a good reminder and a good use of time. There's no cost for this class. It takes just about an hour, and it covers things like city resources for business support, business plan basics, and steps in the development process. Once you complete that BizAid class, you can gain access to personalized coaching from our EDD partners. Those partners right now that provide coaching services are People Fund, which is a local CDFI that does business coaching and provides lending, and Economic Growth Business Incubator, which is a business accelerator and recently won some awards for their coaching services. So working with those partners can help owners develop tailored startup or growth plans, and it's one-on-one, so you're going to cover just what you need. Again, this is no cost for business owners. It's paid for through the Small Business Division as a service to the small business owners that provide so much support for our communities. Next slide. So you'll see on the screen now a QR code that will take you to our webpage, and I encourage you to visit there. We have a wealth of information on our webpage. One of those things is a resource guide that can lead you to all kinds of resources based on topics that you want to search for. We have a super helpful market research tool called Size Up Austin. That's an amazing tool to help you understand maybe where to place your business if you're a startup, or to grow your business, help you understand the demographics in your part of the city, which can help you direct marketing efforts to reach the target that you want to in a cost-effective way. We also have our classes that you can sign up for easily through Eventbrite. Something to take note of is we do offer a small business certificate, and our next recognition ceremony for that, when you earn the small business certificate, is on August 18th. You can earn the certificate by taking 6 core classes that are going to be outlined. You'll see them marked on our schedule and on the Eventbrite page. And if you would like to earn that certificate, there is still time to get those 6 classes in time for that recognition ceremony on the 18th. So I encourage you all to check that out, along with all the other fabulous resources on our webpage. One more thing I'll mention is that there is an information form where if you have a specific need and you can't find it on our webpage, you can put an inquiry in to us, and folks on our staff will reach out to you and either provide or direct you to resources that can help you get what you need. Next slide, please. So one thing that we are working on is a way to help deliver financial assistance. So in conversations with small business owners, access to capital comes up again and again as one of those challenges and things that people are seeking. And so we do have a program that it's still in development, but we're looking to launch a pilot in early 2026 that will help small businesses access more affordable capital. So this program is going to let us partner with a lending institution to buy down the loan interest costs for qualifying businesses. That should help reduce the financial strain and allow businesses to really focus on repaying the principal and highly reduced interest rates. Right now, market rates are pretty high, and that has provided a barrier to some small businesses to be able to access capital. And so the aim of this program is to reduce that barrier. Next slide, please. So this is still in the planning phases. It's going to take a while to launch, but as I mentioned, it's intended to ease the impact of high interest rates. And we are going to use existing funds to test the program, and then we'll see how it goes, and we may be able to expand it depending on community interest and initial outcomes. So this is meant to be a pilot. So look for that coming in early 2026.
Thank you,
Okay.
Cheyenne. Looks like that was it. So it sounds like if folks want to participate or learn more about that they should sign up for those emails with the EDD department to keep up and coming information coming through, whether it's learning more about different courses or learning more about that buy down loan program. So definitely make sure you keep in touch with the EDD group for that. These questions are, how likely are you to participate? And what is your preferred format for attending these classes? The beautiful thing about having so many different industries for small business is that it really does span from early in the morning to in the evening. So make sure you let us know the best way to participate. And we know each industry has their own constraints as far as time. And again, the buy down loan program, how valuable you think that could be and how it could affect you. So just go ahead and take a minute, answer those questions, please. We're going to move into our next group. We're going to be talking now to our Austin Public Health. On here, we have Andrew Thompson. He's a program manager here with the city, and he would like to talk to you about what's going on with Austin Public Health. So Andrew, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for introducing me again. My name is Andy Thompson. I'm a program manager with Austin Public Health. I've been with the city since September of 2010, and I'm excited to be working on this project. When we first heard about the project, we weren't exactly sure how it was going to work out, but after thinking about it for a little bit, we were pretty happy and excited to be offering some easier ways for Austin restaurants to get permitted, trying to reduce some of those barriers and costs to getting started as a new restaurant owner. Next slide, please. So again, the idea for what we're changing is a cost savings and barrier reduction for low risk food businesses here in Austin. So currently, Austin Public Health has 3 tiers of food permits. And what we're doing is we're creating a 4th tier, which we're calling Risk Zero. So currently we have Risk 1, 2, 3, and we're adding Risk Zero, which will apply to a specific set of food establishments. And then we're also changing some of the pre-opening requirements for Risk Zero and Risk 1 food establishments. Again, that's going to make it easier to get open. It's going to make it more affordable for low risk food businesses. And it's going to reduce some of those barriers as you go through the development processes. Of course, we've heard from development services already who will still be involved, but some of these restaurants are going to be able to skip Austin Public Health's requirements to get open. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, these are the new proposed risk levels. Risk 2 and 3 aren't changing. Those are some not high risk, but more risky businesses than risk 0 and risk 1. So with risk 2 and with risk 3, there aren't any changes to development processes or fees or inspection frequencies. Now, you can see with risk 0 and 1, there's some changes. Risk 0 are stores that only sell prepackaged food. Those foods can include non-shelf stable items like lunch meat, cheese, milk, those kinds of things. But these stores won't have any open food. And so think of like dollar stores, CVS, Walgreens, that type of format where it's just a retail grab and go. They don't bag ice. They don't have any open food that they're handling. These food establishments will be exempt from the pre-opening process and the plan review process. So we're not going to require them to go through Austin Public Health whenever they're turning in blueprints to development services. It's so low risk. There's no open food that we're gonna save some time and efficiency on our side and pass that barrier reduction onto our customers. In addition to that, risk 0 will get 0 health inspections per year. As you can see, the risk levels indicate how many inspections you get per year. That's the inspection frequency. And so risk 0 won't get any routine health inspections. We will keep a permit for these establishments just based on an application. That way, if we get a complaint or if there's an issue that a customer lets us know about, then we can go by and take a look. If they're having problems with plumbing or somebody says they found a mouse chewing into their chips, then Austin Public Health can go and do our job. But we're not going to go see them once a year like we used to. Now, risk 1 also has some changes. A risk 1 business example is a business that doesn't have any hot food. So think about, as you can see here, ice cream shops or bars. They should have 0 foods that go from cold to hot. Whether you're cooking or not can be kind of a risky term to use. But if you're heating up food, then you would actually be bumped up into risk 2 or risk 3. But a risk 1 business, again, very low risk, generally scooping ice cream or serving some beverages for after work. We're not going to submit them to plan review or pre-opening inspections either. They will receive a regular health inspection, 1 per year, but we're going to skip some of those pre-opening processes with the development process. So again, risk 0 and risk 1 really are getting reduced barriers to opening. Now, risk 2 and risk 3, again, have more processes that they're doing in their kitchen, such as cooking a hamburger and then serving it, or maybe even cooking large batches. Let's say you cook a large batch of rice and then you cool it down and then you reheat portions of it throughout the next couple of days. Those are riskier processes, and those businesses we do need to be more involved with. So again, no changes to risk 2 and 3, but risk 0 and risk 1 are going to see some easier pathways to getting open and save some money there. So you can see without the annual permit fee on risk 0, which ranges from $359 to $416 currently, that's going to be reduced to just $158 application fee. And then with the plan review and pre-opening inspection fees, there's about another $400 worth of savings there. And so this is the way that Austin Public Health is able to contribute to this council resolution of reducing cost and reducing barriers for low-risk businesses.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You said risky business, and I always felt like we should have Tom Cruise just slide across the screen in the socks for those of you who know that, get that reference. We're going to go ahead and look at another poll. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how those came through as far as folks how they answered those questions. So good. I'm glad to hear that was a good, clear explanation. And as far as the concerns, and it's good to see that there's not too many, but I'm sure that's also good to know. That might help us with the explanations to make sure that we're conveying the information as clearly as possible. So thank you so much for answering those questions. Okay, next we're going to have Austin Water. We're going to have Liz Coy. She's going to give us a presentation about the Austin Water solutions that they're looking at coordinating, and she is the client relationship coordinator at Austin Water. And Liz, I'm gonna
All
hop
right.
on. Great,
Yeah,
thanks so much.
sure. Yeah, thanks, Leah. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As Leah said, my name is Liz Coy, and I'm the Client Relationship Coordinator for the Austin Water Special Services Division. And I'll be presenting about the Austin Water improvements for small business advancement. And with me today is Jay Porter. He's the Division Manager for the Special Services Division, and he'll be able to assist with the question and answer portion. So Jay and I are leading the development of Austin Water's pretreatment small business customer advancement program. And a core feature of this program is going to be a grease trap relief program, which we'll talk about tonight. But additional goals of the customer advancement program are to expand customer education about grease trap requirements and best management practices to reduce surcharge fees, as well as to streamline the plan review process for small businesses. And I just do want to note from the start that while much of our presentation is going to focus on small food service establishments, we will apply the relief that we talk about to all small businesses based on risk. Next slide, please. So I'm going to be referencing both grease traps and sanitary sewer overflows frequently. So just to ensure we're all on the same page from the start, I want to provide a brief explanation of each. The first, grease traps, also referred to as grease interceptors, are underground pretreatment devices that prevent fats, oils, and grease, also known as fog, from entering the sewer system. These devices help to prevent clogs and damage within the city's sanitary sewer system. And grease traps, as well as regular pump outs or cleaning of them, is required by Austin City Code Chapter 15-10. And then currently in Austin, grease traps less than 100 gallons minimum liquid holding capacity are not approved for installation. And commercial food preparation facilities, which utilize a dishwasher, must install a minimum 500-gallon grease trap. So while they are costly, well-maintained grease traps should last between 15 and 20 years or more. And then next, the sanitary sewer overflow, also commonly referred to as an SSO, is a wastewater overflow from a sanitary sewer system that can cause significant health, environmental, and safety risks. The wastewater may back up and overflow from something like a manhole or a clean out or a drain. And SSOs can be caused by a number of things, anything capable of obstructing the flow of wastewater in a sewer, and they're frequently caused by a buildup of fats, oils, and grease. So now that we've got those definitions squared away, let's move on to what Austin Water is doing for the small business resolution. Thank you. So Austin Water is updating the grease trap requirements for food establishments. Austin Water will start grouping businesses into 4 risk categories based on each business's level of grease-related risk and how likely they are to cause a sanitary sewer overflow. This is instead of like us grouping all of food service establishments into one large general group, as that's traditionally been the case. So as part of this risk categories, there's going to be potential for reducing or even waiving wastewater discharge permit fees and surcharge fees for some businesses, as well as there being an increase in grease trap variances, which will save both time and money. And the variance can be in the form of not having to install a grease trap or not having to replace an existing one, or even increasing the time between required pump outs for existing grease traps in good operating condition. So when we're approving those variances, we have to keep in mind that Austin Water needs to ensure sanitary sewer overflow compliance with the United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the TCEQ. And these updates should take effect in fiscal year 26, which begins this October. Next slide, please. So for consistency, we will mimic the 0 to 3 categorization system used by Austin Public Health, with the main driver of categorization being the business, what the business does, and how that increases the risk or concern of a grease-related SSO. So please note, while we are still finalizing the details of the categorization, but I'll go over a broad risk level and the potential impacts on permitting fees and grease trap requirements. And these categories would apply to both new and existing facilities. So risk 0 there will have little to no risk of concern of grease problems. So an example could be a basic convenience store with mostly prepackaged foods and maybe a hot dog roller. In these cases, a grease trap would not be needed, though there may be one already in place. And if there is an existing grease trap, we may be able to extend out the typical 90-day or sooner pump out requirement. And this would be a significant savings, as each pump out can cost around $500 or more. Another opportunity for saving is waiving of the annual $285.35 wastewater discharge permit fee and surcharge fees. And that would be for all Category 0 establishments. The next category is Category 1, and they would have a low risk of concern for grease problems, something like a basic sandwich shop. Like Category 0, a grease trap may or may not already be in place, and the installation or replacement of an existing grease trap would not be required. These establishments would be eligible for a reduced or waived annual discharge permit fee and surcharge fees. And for those with an existing grease trap, again, we may be able to provide some pump out variances. For Category 2 establishments, they'll have a medium risk of concern for grease problems, so a grease trap will be required for both new and existing facilities. These establishments may qualify for our new grease trap relief program, which is an innovative and mutually beneficial program, which we'll discuss on our next slide. And for those not eligible for the grease trap relief program, we'll go ahead and look to see if we can reduce the annual wastewater discharge permit fee or surcharge fees. Finally, we've got risk level 3. Category 3 establishments have a high concern of grease problems. As such, a grease trap would be required for both new and existing facilities. Category 3 establishments would include full service food establishments, such as like a steakhouse or fast food restaurants. These facilities may qualify for our grease trap relief program. Next slide, please. So now we get to the really exciting part. Austin Water's grease trap relief program is under development, with the expectation that it'll launch sometime in fiscal year 26 and will be ongoing from there. So we're excited to announce, as noticed on this slide, the grease trap relief program will offer no cost grease trap equipment and installation or replacement, which is a potential savings of $30,000 or more to qualifying food establishments. So once the relief program is live, both new and existing food service establishments will be able to apply online. Austin Water personnel will then evaluate the applications received using a standard scoring matrix to ensure fairness in determining who will receive the relief. And the number of establishments awarded each fiscal year will be determined by available funding. And if selected, an agreement would need to be signed by both the food service establishment and Austin Water before any work begins. And to make the process more time and cost efficient, the intention is Austin Water will submit a bid request for installation or replacement of the grease trap to qualified third-party contractors on behalf of the food service establishment. And the funds would then be paid directly by Austin Water to the selected contractor instead of the funds going to the food service establishment. And it just may be helpful to know that a typical grease trap replacement or installation can be completed in about 5 to 7 days. So on the customer side, there's the obvious financial benefit, as well as making the grease trap installation process more efficient and ensure that you receive the grease trap that fits your specific needs. From our standpoint, from the Austin Water standpoint, the relief program helps us with the goal of encouraging economic growth for small businesses And replacing failed grease traps will help lower Austin Water's cleaning and maintenance costs and help us prevent sanitary sewer overflows. I do want to note a couple important points about any grease trap being installed as part of the Grease Trap Relief Program. First, the food service establishment, not the city of Austin, will own the grease trap and be responsible for any associated maintenance costs. And then secondly, the grease trap will be required to have a grease trap monitoring system, which has an annual monitoring service subscription fee of $300 to be paid by the food service establishment. However, this fee will be mostly offset by waiving of that $285 annual wastewater discharge permit fee. So the monitoring system is going to have multiple benefits for both the food service establishment and Austin Water, including 24/7 online monitoring of the grease trap with alerts to potential issues before they become actual problems. So the monitoring system will help food service establishments manage grease trap pump outs. This means staying in compliance will be easier and your business's chances of costly plumbing bills, cleanup costs, and fines and potential downside or downtime associated with an SSO will be greatly reduced. So it's going to take a lot of work up front to develop this program, but we truly believe it will benefit all parties involved. And with that, I will turn it back over to Leah.
Thank you so much, Liz. All right, we're here with our last quick poll with the group. And while we're launching that, we're looking to see about, there are many of you that are involved in small businesses that are food service related. Just let us know about the different ways that how helpful the different ranking could help, and just as far as whether that grease trap program would be beneficial. And quick note, we're gonna again post the public input page. Even if you are not involved in the food service industry, many of you entrepreneurs are part of different thought groups. And even if this doesn't apply directly to you, we would really appreciate you sharing our public input page. We're going to send that link in just a second, because the more feedback we get from our small business community, even if specific programs don't apply to you, maybe your neighbor or maybe a relative or a friend, and that way we can capture those thoughts and ideas and just the awareness of what's going on within the community. That, and let's see, I know that the installation, it really piques a lot of people's interest when you put out dollar figures like that. And we look forward to, even though it's not happening today, how those different programs that Austin Water is rolling out to not only help our water quality in the area, but also just our small businesses. It seems like a great way to bridge those and make sure that those stay together. Okay, so with that, go to the next slide, please. We have a Q&A portion. I will go ahead and say we had a couple of questions that were asked and answered in those. And the first thing is whether the slide deck will be emailed out. And just to let everyone know, if you joined a little late, we're going to take all the Q&A, all the questions that we received today. We'll make sure we package those up and get those answered, and they'll be sent out to everyone, that any participant that is on the call, we'll call it a call, or that signed up for the session, and they'll receive that as far as the recording and the Q&A. Another question that we received was under what tier does meal prep fall? And Andrew let us know that it would fall likely either into a 1 or 3. It depends on how the food is handled. So if you have questions, you can always reach out to the different program managers in there to talk about the specifics of what you're doing, and they can work through that with you. So you'll make sure that the applications and what you're submitting is the most applicable to your small business. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to just run through the couple of questions. We do have the Q&A. One is, will this information be available in other languages? We have the ability to help with translation. So if you have specific languages that you are interested in getting this information, please let us know. We can have the slides, we can have different things translated to make sure that the community that you live in has the language that they need. City in all departments has that available. So if you do have something specific, a language that you are interested in having things translated to, you're welcome to do that. Just let us know, and we can help with that. Alternatively, I don't see, does anybody else have any questions or any follow-up? We'll give it just a minute just to see. Again, we'll post in the chat this slide. If you do take a moment and let us know how we did today, both the survey about how the presentation was, and also if you would like to share your feedback. And again, please share this with your small business community, whether it's something that specifically pertains to your group or with others in the area in your community. Please let us know. And in there, if you do have a language, the public input has the ability to translate into different languages. You can change that language in the settings, but also you can reach out to our group and we can work with you to make sure that you have the information in the language that's appropriate. And I don't see that we have any specific questions, but if anybody on the panel has anything else that they'd like to add, you're welcome to. We'll give it a minute, and then otherwise we can wrap it up. But we're here to answer any information that you have.
Hi, Leah. It's Jay Porter with
Hi,
Austin
Jay.
Water. I just wanted to comment a little more on the subscription to the grease trap monitoring. That subscription comes with the company contacting your selected grease trap pump out company and ensuring that the pump out was done correctly, both chambers being cleaned out, both the solids at the bottom and the grease and oils from the top are cleaned. And if they don't do that, they contact your selected grease trap vendor to get them back out to do the job complete. So I just wanted to comment that while there's a cost associated with that, most of the costs to be offset by the removal of the permit fee, if it's applicable, based on your risk category. And it's a great way to maintain your grease trap without your staff or yourself having to deal with the grease trap pump outs.
Sounds like it's a set it and forget it, Jay. Let the technology handle that.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for those comments. This, I will say the public input page should be up through about mid-July, and we're going to take all the feedback that we receive and make sure that we get it back to the departments as well as to council to make sure that they see how the community has responded to or suggested the city's suggested improvements. So again, this will be seen and will be taken into consideration. And if there's something in there that doesn't specifically fit in what we've talked about today, your ideas will be taken and we're always here for improvements. So thank you so much.